Welcome back, everybody. It is our second series here in the VCS Winter Split. My name is 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆. With me, as before, is 𝘁𝗏𝘆, and coming in as a fill-in, which we really appreciate, is longtime VCS English Discord member 𝘁𝗂𝗋𝗋s. Thanks so much for filling in. We have SGB taking on the rebuilt Flash. 𝘁𝗏𝗋, I will start with you. What are your initial takes about this series? 𝘁𝗏𝗋, I can see you talking, but we can't hear you.
I was hyping up 𝘁𝗏𝗺 as much as I could there for a second before I had to go live on thing, because it's been so many months since I've gotten to see my favorite team, Saigon. I was hyped to see them potentially compete for MSI. When they lost that, I was like, okay, they can go to Worlds, they get through qualifiers, and none of it happened. And now we get a chance to see our second split of this young team. 3 rookies from last split. We get a chance to see them. And now, I mean, they're battling another team of rookies here against the side of Flash.
Yeah, Flash somewhat trying to repeat what SGB did in spring. 𝘁𝗂𝗋s, what are your first initial takes about these two teams?
Obviously, Flash has a lot of unknowns because 3 of their players are rookies who have never been in VCS before. We have seen 𝘁𝗿𝗀 and 𝘁𝗄𝗏 in VCS-B before, where they did have decent showings, but we have no idea how they're going to perform after being moved up to VCS. Something interesting about 𝘁𝗁𝗍 actually is that he was actually on Young Buffaloes before coming to Team Flash. So he's going against his former team, kind of.
That's actually really interesting. I don't know much about the 2 players that were in VCSB, so you might have to fill us in a little bit. I'm pretty bad with keeping up with the academy or the lower league here in Vietnam. We'll stay with you, 𝘁𝗁𝗋s. Obviously, we have been talking a lot about the meta. How do you think these 2 teams, and I'll let you focus on Flash, how do you think Flash adapts to this 11-19 patch?
So my first impression of Flash is actually I think the meta suits them decently well. Like in Worlds, there was a lot of emphasis on top lane focus, and with 𝘂𝗍 being the captain of Team Flash and a lot of carry champions being meta in top lane, like in Worlds we saw like the Graves, the Jace, the Kennen, which we all know that. Well, we don't know if 𝘂𝗍 can play Graves top, but we know that he can play Jace and Kennen. So I'm hoping to see a lot of carry picks out of top lane. And as for support, the other veteran on this roster is 𝘁𝗏𝗋, and he is known to play a lot of engaged supports, and he does play enchanters occasionally. We always remember his Yuumi, especially when he was on GOM, when he was like on 𝘂𝗏𝗏's Jax in the finals. He was pretty terrifying.
I don't know if we remember it for the right reason. Sometimes.
He has his ups and downs, but we know that he is familiar with Yuumi at least. So if that can get through, then it'll be interesting to see if we can maybe see some top lane carry out of 𝘂𝗍.
Yeah, I do really think 𝘂𝗍 has a lot of work to do. Of course, you know, we have been ranking Flash quite low, just mostly because they have 3 rookies that we don't know a huge amount about. It's hard to rank them much higher than 8th, as we were saying on our podcast. But 𝘁𝗏𝗋, let's go over to you to talk about your favorite team, the bearer of the 𝘁𝗏𝗋 Frank. How does this patch play with SGB?
So this is where I think one of my biggest questions about Saigon coming in is actually all about patch. 𝘁𝗁𝗏 obviously is somebody that can either take up the mantle of something like Graves, which is absorptive of pressure in the top side, or taking a counter pick. You can take things like the Jax into what would be like a Graves. You can take the Camille. You can take plenty of things. 𝘁𝗁𝗏 is a weapon that's going to be used by Saigon pretty much no matter what. And Ariety and 𝘁𝗁𝗏, I don't have a problem with their champion pool either. Shogun also is right along lines right there as well. He's somebody that could potentially step in. My question mark comes to 𝘁𝗏𝗏 and 𝘁𝗏𝗋 specifically, mostly 𝘁𝗏𝗋. 𝘁𝗏𝗏's got a champion swamp. I'm not too worried about him. It's more so, okay, what is he bringing out? Does he have Vex in his pool? Does he have like 𝘂𝗂𝗀 in the pool? I'm sure that he does if he's got Kayn in there somewhere. But 𝘁𝗏𝗋 specifically played an absurd amount of both Udyr and also 𝘁𝗻 over the course of the split that we saw them in, which was really popular at the time. We've gone very far away from that in terms of the jungle picks. And so now my question is, how adaptive is 𝘁𝗏𝗋? Because he was a huge part of the reason that Saigon was able to find success in both breaking out 𝘀𝘀 and attacking the side lanes with his presence elsewhere. Without these really heavy kind of bear down on lane styles, these 𝘀𝘁cie type champions, how does 𝘁𝗀 make this adaptation? This is potentially the place where Saigon sees the most definitive change in their style from what we saw back in the spring.
For sure. Now, before we move on, let's put our money where our mouth is and bring up our predictions for this series. I think they will be looking pretty similar across all three of us if we want to bring those up. Happens, we'll go straight back to you. I think you predicted 2-0 for SGB. Yeah, we all did. I think it's the only way we can predict it, but I'm going to ask you to tell us why exactly SGB wins and how they match up against Flash.
I think SGB will win because they are. It's kind of weird to say because they're like the team that were all rookies last split, but first, like they actually have more experience now, and we've seen what they're capable of, and we know that their players are very good, and I just think that Flash is not going to be. Flash is kind of in like a rebuilding phase right now, I feel, and I don't think that they're going to be top contenders to win anything in VCS, really.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. But Rebel, I'm going to give you a Herculean task of telling us how Buffalo can win. Obviously, none of us think... how Flash can win. None of us think they will. But if they do, how are they going to do it?
I think their biggest the biggest strength they've got going for them is 𝘂𝑚, and I think Dante also adds quite a bit. I really liked Dante's play inside of VCSB, the limited number of games I got to see. He was, of course, on Saigon's B squad, so he has to know something. He has to have scrimmed against the likes of 𝘁𝗀, so there has to be some experience there that might carry over and assist him with helping out 𝘂𝑚. But the other really big question mark is, 𝘁𝗏𝗏. Is 𝘁𝗏𝗏 capable of pulling out any semblance of what we'd seen from him back when he was on GAM, back when he was supposed to be a top 3 support inside of the entirety of the VCS, whereas last split it was a really bad time. The biggest question mark also is 𝘁𝗀 or 𝘁𝗵𝘺. I've also seen the name 𝘁𝗵𝘺. I'm not sure what we're going to get here today. Obviously, 𝘀𝗀𝗆's very, very good, but 𝘁𝗵𝘺 is the question mark for me because we're pulling him not out of any experience from competitive to right out of solo queue for the VCS, which could mean for a very wide sweeping difference in just how good this guy is. He could be terrible the way that 𝘀𝗀𝗆 was when we first brought him into the VCS just a year ago, something along those lines, when he had 4/10 of a CS per minute, something like that. But maybe we get something a lot more amazing.
Yeah, we are heading into draft, the first game of Team Flash up against the Saigon Buffalo. It is Flash over on the blue side. They have removed some mid laners, Twisted Fate and LeBlanc being taken out, and 𝘁𝗏𝗏 will not have access to his Yuumi this game. Happens, what champions do you have your eyes on for these teams?
I'm looking forward to blind pickable top laners like Jason Kennen, because these champions are generally picked on blue side by teams who have strong top laners who want to get a priority pick, so they don't get counterpicked super hard.
Makes a lot of sense. Rebel, what kind of thing are you looking at in this draft?
Something about this potential from the side of Saigon screams that Talon could be a flex pick between 𝘁𝗀 or 𝘁𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀𝗆, and I'd really like to see that. Also, especially when you've got new players coming in on the side of Flash, solo queue type champions, things like Yasuo, things like Yone that typically aren't seen as much inside of competitive, outside of very specific niche type situations, are more likely to be taken. And we see immediately that Flash, they're right on the Vex as the potential grab. 𝘁𝗵𝗆 has to understand the strength of that champion, having come right out of solo queue, and yeah, they lock it B1. This is large priority on this Vex champion we've seen already from the VCS, which is awesome to see because this is our first chance of actually getting to see how it works inside of competitive.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really happy to see that. I think it makes sense. You don't want to let 𝘀𝗀𝗆 get his hands on something that can engage from super long range, can potentially have a bit of a roam. But I think we're about to see... Oh, it's not Lucian Nami, because Lucian is banned. It is just the Nami. We'll have to see what they go alongside it. What do you think of this Nami with no Lucian happens?
I think that Nami without Lucian is definitely a lot weaker than we usually see out of Lucian Nami, because the reason you pick that lane is because it's so lane dominant, right? So if they don't have a good a good AD carry to pair with Nami, like Jhin, which Team Flash are about to pick away. It seems like it might be not the best place to pick Nami.
Yeah, I agree, but BJ does get Lee Sin, and that is a huge win in my opinion. As Flash thought for a while about what they want to pick here, but it will be Xin Zhao, who was actually completely ignored in our first series of the day. Went unpicked and unbanned in both drafts. They do pick up, they do pick the Jhin up with that third pick regardless. So far, Team Flash is doing a little bit of tier list drafting so far. Vex is an incredibly strong mid laner. Xin Zhao, a very, very strong jungler, and Jhin, somewhat of the premier ADC, and Kennen for 𝘁cie𝗱𝘆. Now, that's a terrifying prospect.
Yeah, we're just avoiding, I guess, each other inside of the drafting, because you've gone, mid ADC jungle. You had to overlap somewhere, so you had double jungle taken on both sides, but then you have support and top lane most likely taken for the side of Saigon, who also are just taking priority on what they believe to be strongest inside of the meta. I like the idea of the Nami. There's an interesting concept behind what you can do with her in the bottom lane if you pair her up with an enchanter. 𝘀cie𝗱𝗆 was actually super mean when they first implemented that E change where it actually applies to spells as well. I doubt that we're going to get anything crazy like that from the side of Saigon, but the idea is there where it's like, okay, yes, Lucian is perhaps the best champion to pair with it because he already gets amplified by his own like movement speed, things of that sort. There are other champions that work with this. Jhin is one of them that's really, really good alongside this, and there's a couple other type of on-hit champions that could work in this particular situation as well. I wonder if 𝘁cie is also there. For some reason, we couldn't get rid of the 𝘁cie bug last split, and one of the worst offenders of that was 𝘁𝘁ie.
But it's not 𝘁𝘁ie. Oh my word! It is Shogun, who is their substitute ADC. They've decided to bring in today. Not sure why, but they have, and he's insta-lock 𝘁𝗱𝘆. That is a champion we have not seen in a long, long time. What do you think about this bot lane happens?
To me, it doesn't seem very strong because 𝘁𝗱𝘆 is not really like a AD carry you pick to like dominate laning phase generally, but it does have like a lot of wave clear, and Nami's poke should help her to be able to get that wave, to get those waves shoved in.
The one thing it does do is free 𝘁𝗀𝘆 up to roam if he wants to. And we know that 𝘁𝗀𝘆 is probably the best roaming sport the VCS has. I don't think that's even a controversial statement. And that is a Malphite last pick for Yoshino. I guess they don't think Yoshino has to carry because they've picked him a champion that does nothing. And that is a rock-solid B5 pick. This is a draft we're going to have to talk about in some detail as 𝘁𝗨𝘆 is being hovered. I think that is a brilliant pick here. You have some fantastic ults. There it is. Froggy will take the 𝘁𝗨𝘆 against Vex. And Rebel, I'm going to let you analyze the Flash side of this. What do you think of this comp?
This is I guess, just fly directly into the enemy type composition because you've got Malphite presses the ultimate, you've got ways to get in with the W and the E combination from Xin Zhao, you've got Vex ultimate, my apologies, getting in there, and then of course Rakan can follow everybody. The only person who can't is Jhin. I almost would have preferred an ADC who would have been able to kind of follow up on this really heavy death ball type composition, almost like the 𝘁𝗱𝘆. I almost would have preferred 𝘁𝗱𝘆 on this composition so you could put everybody in place. That's what they want to do. This is just like a pin missile composition where they're just going to send everybody at you as quickly as possible and hope that that blitzing is going to do enough damage on the first impact to make a meaningful difference in team fights.
And I actually really like that when you have a team of rookies, but I'm going to let Happens. You got to be quick about it. What was your opinion on the SGB comp?
I thought their comp was actually pretty similar to Team Flash's in the sense that they want to like all use their ultimates and then just kind of like run at them with like 𝘁𝗨𝘆 with Malphite R, 𝘁𝗱𝘆 R speeding up the Kennen, and you throw a Nami wave on top of that, and then their team fight combo is really, really strong. So I think this game is just going to come down to who gets the better engage.
Yeah, I think it really is. This is going to be a battle of positioning and potentially early skirmishes, something I think the VCS absolutely loves. Rebel, you go first. Who is taking game one?
I could never bid against Saigon Buffalo. Also, I'm guessing that BJ is going to hit a nasty kick on this Lee Sin sometime this game.
You would think so. You would think so. Happens. Do you agree, or will Flash be getting the upset?
I think I agree. I think Saigon Buffalo's comp, it looks really good this game.
And now I will be throwing over to the wonderful, the intelligent, the attractive pair of 𝘁𝘂𝗶𝗹𝘀𝘀 and 𝘁�cie. Take it away.
𝘁𝑐𝗱.
Or at least 𝘁𝘁𝗶𝗹𝘀. I think 𝘁𝑐𝗱 may have...
I forgot.
𝘁𝘁𝗶𝗹𝘀𝑐's here. There we go.
There we are.
I had such a good intro. It was all great. It was almost as good as this Malphite pick in the top lane. But either way, we're jumping into game. And 𝘁𝘁𝗶𝗹𝘀, I've got some interesting stats for you. This is actually 𝘁𝑐𝗱's first ever game on Nami. It's his third ever game playing an Enchanter.
This is, I mean, this isn't the biggest surprise considering 𝘁𝑐𝗱 debuted this year. He did have the VCS split, but Nami, I last saw Nami in 2016, so it seems reasonable.
I'm going to follow up on this stat then with one further stat about 𝘁𝑐𝗱. He's never won a game when he's played an Enchanter support.
This could be a problem. However, we are going to have to see where this goes, because 𝘁𝑐𝗱 is on his world-famous Rakan, so this may be the opportunity for 𝘁𝑐𝗱 to get that win. But here we are, we're off to start. No shenanigans level 1. We're just going to see pathing, both junglers starting on the top side, looking to impact this bot lane, and that makes a good amount of sense. We're seeing a lot of we're going to see trading come out there, but they really want to sort of roll these bot lanes ahead. 𝘁𝗶𝗆, as we all know, there's the 500 CS win condition. That might not necessarily be the case so much if Shogun does decide to go for like the lethality build. The runes don't tell us that much. You really want to go lethal tempo anyway, just to supplement your attack speed on the one build, and then it's just the best DPS on the other. 𝘁𝑐𝗱 also going for this Ignite instead of a Guardian means they want to play as aggressive as possible, which hints more towards the lethality option for early game pressure. But right now, a lot of focus could also go towards the mid lane, because right now we have 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀 putting a lot of pressure down onto 𝘁𝑐𝗱𝗆. With the Vex, that's just the range advantage of the matchup. This should probably sort of switch around a little bit come level 6, shall we say. That's the safe bet. But if 𝘁𝑐𝗱𝗆 can get on top...
say a VCS game is going to calm down when we get to level 6?
Oh, I said it's going to sort of like switch around, as in 𝘁𝑐𝗱𝗆 will have kill threat on 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀. Won't have the ability to sort of pressure up. He's already able to farm quite safely under tower, so it's going quite well. But these little dashes are just going to feed into Vex's procs.
Well, Dante now going in on to Bean. He's going to get a nice trade, but now Bean can look to turn things around. Has the Conqueror stack the smite onto the 𝘁𝗀𝗏 to get health. Bean's forced to flash, and it's first blood for Team Flash. However, 𝘁𝗀𝗏𝘆 will pull one back. 𝘁𝑐𝗱𝗆 goes on to 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀, and it will be Shogun who picks up the kill on the 𝘁𝗀𝗏. 2 kills going over to 𝘁𝗏𝗆, and most importantly, 𝘁𝗁𝗏, 𝘁𝗁𝗏 going over to 𝘁𝗏𝗆 as well.
Dante making a huge statement and sort of going for that solo kill, but 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀, he's going down to support, but the collapse from SGB is faster. They have the shove in the bot lane. They even invest the teleport from 𝘁𝑐𝗱𝗆. 𝘂𝑚 can't really follow. He's stuck under his tower, but 𝘁𝗏𝗆 just completely whiffs the engage on the grand entrance, and that's a huge trade win for SGB.
And let's not forget, 𝘁𝗏𝗆 is the most experienced member on this Team Flash roster as well. He was part of that massive Buffalo roster, the Feng Fu Buffalo roster from 2019. But here's a quick replay of that mid lane skirmish.
Yeah, we see Dante pretty handily winning that trade, but the collapse from SGB means that it was going to be a 1v1. 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀, he wants to help his jungler, but in doing so, just gives up his life because, well, there's 4 people down there. It's really hard for him to get away. And that's given 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗆 a good chance to sort of keep the CS even. And now, 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀, no flash, BeanJ in the mid lane.
BeanJ in the mid lane, 𝘁𝗀𝗀 nowhere to go. And the rookie will die for a second time within 5 minutes. So far, it's not going well for Team Flash and going exactly how pretty much every single one of us expected. All casters predicting a 2-0 for 𝘁𝗀𝗏𝘆 in this series.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that the sort of fumble in the 1v1 did not slow 𝗀𝗀 down at all. He's just gone straight back onto the map, straight into the mid lane. Again, utilizing this bot lane pressure, this shove that 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆 will get for pretty much free against any champion. He is actually down in items and still managing to push this advantage. Actually, no, I take that back. I misread the back timing. 𝘁𝗀 just bought that axe, so never mind. 𝘁𝗱𝗆's backing now, picking up that 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗆 well on their way. That does syndicate. We're going to see an attack speed 𝘁𝗱𝗆. This is just clean. There's a flash from 𝘁𝗀𝗆. There's no hope for 𝘁𝗀. Didn't have his fear up either.
It's just was only a couple of seconds away there.
Yeah.
It was, but either way, 500 gold separating the two sides. So far, everything going the way of 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆𝘆𝘀. We haven't even got to that Rift Herald stage yet. 𝘁𝗁 now has that level 6. So when the Rift Herald does come up, both top laners will have those very impactful ultimates available to them.
Yeah, also another thing I do want to sort of touch on with the earlier play that we glossed over before, with SGB giving the first risk color, they gave it to 𝘁𝗁 to make sure he could keep up in sort of the experience that he was losing in the top lane from that first teleport. So he's able to catch up, keep a little bit, get back a little bit CS, keep the experience, and he's matching Yoshino very well in terms of they both have their ultimates, and these are two of the most impactful ultimates in the game, and that should be the difference maker. You do not want the unfortunate opportunity where Yoshino has his ultimate, but 𝘁𝗁 doesn't, and that is what gives Flash the opportunity to get in the game if you're Buffalo. But now we're seeing Flash with the push in the bot lane, push in the top lane. They have a lot of opportunity to get all this vision around the Rift Herald and should be more than happy to be set up as soon as that spawns.
All of this being said, though, it's only 400 gold separating the two teams, now up to 500, so, and as I say that, it jumps up to 600, but anyway, it's not a huge goal difference between the teams, and I want to touch on something that the analyst brought up earlier. I think it was actually Happens, who talked about this is a game of whoever can engage first. And when you look at Saigon Buffalo, they've got some great engage tools. 𝘁𝗀𝗆 can steal away the Unstoppable Force, he can even steal away the Vex ult or the quickness. And then on top of that, you've got 𝘁𝗁, you've got 𝗀𝗀 on the Lee Sin. There's a lot of opportunities, but Flash don't really have anything to stop that engage with the exception of maybe the Crescent Guard.
Yeah, the Crescent Guard getting a good knockback may be a big fear from 𝘁𝗆. Those are your big things. You could invest the quickness, and that can do a lot to slow down and engage, but it's not going to be that easy, especially when, 𝘁𝗀𝗆 does have access to a Malphite ultimate, does have access to his own version of the quickness that can really just hop on top of the enemy team with very little chance to react. And now we're seeing the fight around the Rift Herald. It's starting, but Shogun is a little bit late, so this should be going the way of Flash, but 𝘁𝗀𝗆 has the ult.
𝘁𝗀𝗆 has a Malphite ult. When do they go in? The the Rift Herald has already been secured, but at what cost? 𝘁𝗆 taken down so low as a slicing Maelstrom onto 3 members isn't enough because the side of Team Flash are so darn low, but 𝘁𝗀 now stepping forward, looking to drop down the damage, although he's just going to get run down. Now 𝘁𝗁𝗆 looks to go in, and the boomerangs are coming out for Shogun. Shogun surely he's going to clean this one up. He's looking towards Yoshino. Now he can look towards the 𝘁𝗆. It's a triple kill! And it's a quadra kill for the Saigon Buffalo ADC.
Huge pickup for the rookie AD carry, showing up. He comes in late. The fight is sort of won for Flash, but 𝘁𝗀𝗆 finds the re-engage, and Shogun is there to just clean up these blinking health bars. It's so much gold funneled into the 𝘁𝗀𝗆, and this 𝘁𝗀𝗆's going the attack speed build, so that sort of meant to take a little bit of time. If that faster she accelerates, she will just melt through a team fight. She's relatively safe with her spell shield, and it seems like they were a little bit late on this because the Rift Herald went down. There's just everyone managing to get out by the skin of their teeth. A beautiful snipe from 𝘁𝗀 to just make sure they win, but they just sort of keep chasing. It's a little bit of rookie mistake from 𝘁𝗀 that gives 𝘁𝗀𝗆 the opening to get back in, lets Shogun pop off with the ricochet and just delete pretty much the entire enemy team.
Beautifully done. And don't forget, Shogun back in Season 9 was actually a support. In Season 10, over in VCS B, role swapped over to ADC. And so far, doing a decent job instead, or in place, I should say, of 𝘁𝘁𝑇𝑖 for this game.
Yeah, absolutely showing up. Was wondering, oh, 𝘁𝘁𝑇𝑖, why would you want to mess with the formula? Shogun's actually coming in and saying, yeah, I'm here. I'm taking this spot. I think I should get a go. He's definitely put a name for it. A quadra kill in your first real team fight on the big stage. It's not quite wild turtle levels of impact, but
it's got decent kill
getting there.
participation, doesn't it?
He's got the kill participation for sure. Yeah, 7 out of 8, pretty solid.
Yeah. I think that could also equal a rating that you could give him for this game. That would be rather reasonable. As 𝘁𝑐𝗱 now looking to go in. Tidal Wave going to be able to find a 2-man knockup. So does the Aqua Prison. Sonic Wave also connecting, but 𝘁𝑺 instead deciding that he just wants to sit on this Infernal Drake. It would be the second Drake of the game as well for 𝘁𝗱𝘆𝘀.
Yeah, very dark to follow into that. You did see 3, but you just couldn't be quite sure. DHQ having that teleport available as well. Not really good angle for 𝘁𝗱𝘆𝘀 to follow up on if there was that teleport to match and sort of make their numbers disadvantage. So they call off, they take the safe objective of the dragon. That's fine, that's all well. They did their job, they scared Flash away. And now it's just it feels more commanding than the gold would suggest, but you do have those 2 dragons on top. You've still had this lane pressure pretty much the entire time. And Flash have not really been able to get anything done. They still have this Rift Herald in their pocket though, so look for 𝘁𝑚 and Yoshino, I would say, to link up and try and make something happen with Dante, and then try and convert that. But
I was about to touch on this Rift Herald point because there's not much time for Dante to drop it down, and he's going to drop it in the top lane, and we'll see how much value the side of Flash can get out.
Oh, it's just not happening. The bubble isn't there in time. It's just not going to get the charge off at all. Huge waste of the Rift Herald. They didn't set up their waves. They didn't push anything out. Yoshino instead is going to get 1 play, but that's still just... You lost that massive team fight. Your prize from it was the Rift Herald, and you didn't get anything out of that first charge. It's so... Yeah, it's disastrous for Flash. You really were banking on that to sort of be your window back into the game, and it's just gone. Dante not linking up with his bot lane to really get the wave into position, not linking up with any of his laners to get the wave in position. Mid lane would have probably been the best, because DHQ just can perma-shove Froggy for the most part, has a lot of wave clear on this Vex, but didn't go for it, and just is left sort of looking a little bit foolish.
Now, I want to bring up some more stats, because stats are very interesting, and I like being a stats man.
Stats are fun!
Did you know Yoshino currently has 3 games that he's played competitively on Malphite? Would you like to guess what his win rate on the champion is?
What years were they playing?
I don't know. I could find out for you, but I'm too lazy to do that.
Fair enough. In that case,
man.
You'd assume 1, at least. It's Malphite. How hard could it be?
Well, I can confirm that he has not won a single game on Malphite.
It's been rough. Maybe this could be the chance to turn around, but you're looking down in that bot lane, you're seeing that already completed Kraken Slayer for Shogun Sivir, and this might be another L on the scoreboard for the Big Rock, but Yoshino, he's doing all right for himself. He's got the 3 assists. He's already built that Sunfire Aegis, so he can still have these big impact ultimates if he finds the opportunity. But right now he's relegated to side laning up against 𝘁𝗱𝘆𝘀 on the cannon, and this sort of lane setup is quite interesting. They're keeping Vex in the mid, which is fair. Has a lot of abilities to sort of roam to either side if needed, provided she can land that ultimate. And just sort of keeping 𝘁𝗀𝘀 in the side lane, trying to let him take down these side lane turrets rather than just parking him in the mid lane against the Sivir and playing the old ADC ping pong.
As 𝗃_𝗀 just baiting out Dante and Palette, saying, do you want to go in on me? And then just sidestepping every single ability. We've also hit 15 minutes, and another potential statistic that I did want to talk about, although I'm going to have to hold that because the engage comes through. Palette misses the grand entrance, nicely duped by 𝗃_𝗀. And now the turnaround onto Dante. The knock-up comes through and actually follows through onto Palette, who uses a quickness to get out to safety, but Dante's just going to be left to the walls. The unstoppable force comes in. Can they kill 𝗃_𝗀? The tower shot in the end will take him down. Slicing Maelstrom follows. And wow, the damage is disgusting. 𝗁𝗀 forced to flash on out to safety, just about surviving. And will snipe 𝘂𝑎𝑠m𝑒D down, but it will do absolutely nothing to help the Team Flash cause. And overall, 2 kills for 1. Saigon Buffalo coming out on top.
Yeah, not landing that crucial flash on 𝘁𝑔gy seals the deal and lets SGB completely punish the fight. It ends up only being, I think, a 1-for-1 kill. Might have been a 2-for-1. But the point is the health bars were so low on Flash, they have to just give up this Rift Herald. Now, 𝗃_𝗀 is dead, so they're going to have to put it on someone else. It's going to go to 𝘁𝑔gy. Which is fair, he's most likely to get some alone time in the side lane and be able to just get the most out of this push, but it's just a really nice engage onto Dante as he sort of oversteps, but 𝘁𝑔gy is the key here as he completely removes Palette from the fight. But here he sort of, it's on 𝗃_𝗀 rather than 𝘁𝑔gy, but it sort of builds enough time that without the flourish landing, that 𝘂𝑎𝑠m𝑒D's able to really arrive and just completely clean up. Not getting the kill, but that shuriken honestly deserved it, weaving it around the Malphite to get that stun onto 𝗁𝗀.
Yeah, it did so much damage onto 𝗁𝗀 as well. However, Team Flash may be a slight silver lining for them is that they're able to pick up the first Ocean Drake of the game and can maybe stall this game out by a further 5 minutes. That's Shadow Surge coming in. Oh my god! 𝘁𝗀 went a pop. 𝘁𝗁gy steals the quickness, but can do nothing with it. And it's a 1-for-1 mid laner for support, and ordinarily, you definitely say not worth, but maybe in this scenario, it is?
Hard to say, because you've cleaned up your biggest wave clear tool.
Okay, we've got more fighting happening. Rift Herald has been dropped down, but I think it might be equally useful a Rift Herald placement as it was when Team Flash did it. And now the curtain call comes through the focus onto Shogun. The damage for the shot, and down goes the 𝘁𝗱𝑆. That is a big bounty going the way of 𝗁𝗀. 𝘁𝗁gy will pull one back, but the side of Team Flash will be more than happy with that 2-for-1 trade. As actually 2-for-1 because 𝘂𝑎𝑠m𝑒D died in the top lane. 𝘂𝑚𝑒D was able to pick up the solo kill.
𝘂𝑚𝑒D coming back for that title of I am meant to be one of the top. I'm meant to be one of the kings of the top lane. I'm here for it. I am going to solo kill 𝘂𝑚𝑒D. Even on this team full of rookies, I'm the captain. I'm stepping up. And yeah, he didn't do anything, but 𝘂𝑚𝑒D did die. It's a shame, really. It just killed him.
He must have done something to kill 𝘂𝑚𝑒D. Do you think he was just sitting there and he was just like, Thanos, die?
I don't know. It just killed him.
We're gonna find out here with this replay, I think.
Yeah, it's really
okay.
It really just poked him low with the Q spam and the comet built in. Really effective. Gets him low, then just hits him with the ultimate. Does so much damage. Shogun trying to be a good good teammate for 𝘁𝑔gy, but yeah, if you're
the other way around,
𝘁𝗀𝑔gy
needs to be the teammate for Shogun there.
Yeah, I think your best option is just sort of trying to spell shield and walk away as quickly as you can. 𝘁𝑔gy, yeah, look, you're the one with the flash up. You're the one with the dash. You should be able to dodge it on your own. Don't let your Fed AD carry give over that free shutdown. But all in all, not too much difference. About a 1k gold lead for SGB, still has the Dragon advantage, but now we're looking towards the Baron as the next big pressure point that the teams are going to play around just in case the other team slips up and gives the opportunity to rush it down. Lots of damage on the side of SGB if they commit. Flash, decent, but not really the best Baron take with the fact you have you have that control mage that doesn't really do the consistent damage. You have the Jhin rather than a consistent DPS AD carry. But again, Yoshino is just actually putting down a pretty commanding lead in these side lanes. Is about even with 𝘂𝑚𝑒D in terms of CS, but He just has the wave shove. He has the pressure. And that's sort of what is keeping Flash alive and sort of hopeful in this game. Having this big Malphite just get to the stage where what is SGB going to do to him? He's already got the Randuin's Omen, so can just jump straight on top of Shogun and completely new to the crit coming out of them. So we are looking for the sort of wombo combo again of the Yoshino, maybe getting followed up with by 𝘁cie. But we're sort of seeing a little bit of posturing around this bot side river, looking for 𝗃 to make the big play onto 𝘁𝗔.
We've got a Drake in 1 minute's time. This is what Flash are trying to set up for, trying to clear vision so that they have priority to pick up their second Ocean Drake of the game. And the gold, 1.5k between both sides. And you can see in the top lane, 𝘁cie has a nice wave that is crashing in to the outer tower, and it might even pick up the tower as well.
Down. Yeah, it was left on next to nothing by Yoshino earlier, so if the way... No, it's actually going to just bounce in time, so it has just enough time. It just needs someone to walk out there and whack it once, and then it'll fall, but that's going to stand there. It's not going to be a waste of local gold or anything, which is good. This is good news for...
𝘁𝗀 burned the Shadow Surge.
Yeah,
Find the target.
That's not good. But Deadly Flourish lands on Shogun. Looking for a good flank. 𝘁cie𝗱𝘆 unspotted in the pixel brush, but going to be forced out. Look for 𝘁𝗀 on the flank, but without the ultimate. Seems kind of like not going to do a lot.
Do Team Flash push in? I think they will. Remember, this is all about who gets to engage first. And 𝘁𝗀 has the Malphite ult. Of course, Yoshino is Malphite, so he's got the ult himself. Who pulls the trigger? The Drake has already been started. 𝘁𝗀 slowly making his way over. Doesn't have the Shadow Surge available to engage.
His positioning's
might
bad.
come down.
You can't do anything from there.
And there we go, that's the engage. The Drake has already been secured, the Crescent Guard comes through. Namiel going to be able to find a 2-man knockup, but 𝘁cie𝗱𝘆𝘀 are on the offensive. The quickness comes through, but it does not do enough. Slicing Maelstrom slices through Team Flash, and they're able to pick up 2 kills. The curtain call not doing much at all. 3 kills for 𝘁cie𝗱𝘆𝘀, and they don't drop a single member. Now they can turn their attention towards the Baron Nashor.
Yeah, it's going to be a really quick pivot onto the Baron. Now, 𝘁𝗀, his ultimate is coming up, but unfortunately, if he goes in alone, he's really banking on getting those quick resets off 𝘁𝗀. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's probably going to be the free Baron, because there's not much that SGB can really do to contest. Their best option is to just hard shove this mid lane, try and take this turret. But 𝘁𝗀 is going to sort of try and dissuade that, and that's still a very healthy turret. I don't think they're going to be able to get that.
Oh, 𝘁𝗀,
No,
he's stolen the Shadow Surge, he's gone on to
𝘁𝗀.
𝘁𝗀, locks him down, picks up the kill. 𝘁𝗀, where you gonna go? Shadow Surge narrowly missing, but now the potential turnaround. Grand Entrance going to be able to find the knockup, they're going to be able to get the fear. 𝘁𝗀 flashing over the wall, and 𝘁𝗀 will survive just by the skin of his teeth.
Oh, 𝘁𝗀, the rookie just failing on a purely mechanical level. Look at this, he's positioned around the back, which would be great if he still had his ultimate, but he does not, so he will never get to participate in this fight. And by the time 𝘁𝗀 starts it off, he sort of shows in, he throws 1 Q, and he can't really do anything. That's fine, Flash are trying to back off, but 𝘁𝗱𝗱𝘆 finds the engage, they pick it up, and again, just absolutely nothing from 𝘁𝗀. He's not landing much. He lands one thing on 𝘁𝗁𝘁, and that admittedly does do a lot of damage, but so if he lands the stuff, he has the damage to really make an impact, but the way he's playing is not getting that impact. We saw on that re-engage from 𝘁𝗀, he takes the tower, misses his ultimate again, so he can't get on top of them to save 𝘁𝗀. And then when they try and catch 𝘁𝗀 out, he goes for the flash W and just misses the fear. It's these mechanical errors from this rookie that are just completely letting the team down.
Well, 𝘁𝗀 first game on the big stage. And maybe the nerves are getting to him. Tidal Wave actually just about going to miss Dante. Able to find the knockup on to 𝘁𝗀. So much damage coming through from the Boomerang Blade. But 16 kills to 8. The gold 5,000 between the two teams. 𝘁𝗱𝘱𝘆𝘀 on Ocean Soul Point. Whether they can get that, we'll have to wait and see. As Yoshino goes in on 𝘁𝑺. He still has that unstoppable force available, didn't use it in the previous fight. And locked down by the icicles, but now so much damage. And the slows coming through from the curtain call. But 𝘁𝑠𝑖𝗠o decides against chasing for the kill.
Yeah, it does not, but 𝘁𝑺 does
that's
decide
nice.
for it.
𝘁𝑺 just drops at the bat of an eyelid. The kill goes through for the side of 𝘁𝗍𝗆. Now they turn their attention towards the inner tower, and there is absolutely nothing that Team Flash can do about it as well, as the rookie mid laner picks up his 6th death of the game.
We saw Flash try and punish 𝘁𝑺 in the 4-1, trying to pick him off, but not having the damage between the two that they sent. And in the mid lane, 𝘁𝑺 finds the angle over the wall, deletes the mid laner of the Vex. And now they just have so much pressure with the Vex off the map that they're going to pick up 2 of these outer turrets. That's so much gold. That's about 900 gold just directly injected thanks to the local. And that's another huge swing for SGB. They've ballooned the gold lead to 7k. And as we know from Buffalo, they are one of our better macro teams. They have a pretty good idea of how to actually utilize the side lanes. So this should be a pretty comfortable walk down, but we might just get the explosive team fight to win it, because in a minute, the 𝘁𝑚∞ is up.
And as you mentioned, it is 𝘁𝑚∞. 𝘁𝑚∞ for 𝘁𝗍𝗆. For Team Flash, it'll just be their 2nd Drake of the game. It's so important that Team Flash deny this soul point, because 𝘁𝗍𝗆, they're already strong. And imagine how much stronger they're going to be with a soul on a top. In fact, they could even just ignore this and just go push mid lane, open that up, and then go take 𝘁𝑚∞ when it's next up in 5 minutes time.
Yeah, honestly, a single 𝘁𝑚∞ compared to the 600 local gold, but never mind, that's the engage.
Never mind, they're going to go in, they're going to try to find the engage. That's a fair amount of damage, but is it enough? No, it's not. BJ going to be able to stay alive. 𝘁𝑚∞ will fall, and 𝘁𝗍𝗆 will shred through Team Flash. The HQ falls as well. 𝘁𝗍𝗆 do not need the Ocean Soul. They'll pick up the clean ace, and now surely they just push it down mid and end the game.
Buffalo say 𝘁𝗚. They just go hard onto Team Flash and beat them with the wallets they've acquired, and now they're just gonna run it down. They have but one measly cannon caster creep, doing his little best, protect the creep, keep the bonus alive, and that's gonna be enough to take the Nexus.
Well played by the side of 𝘁𝗍𝗆, and well, against the Team Flash, a rookie Team Flash roster as well, mainly. It was a win that they needed to pick up. But we're going to be jumping on into a short break. And when we do return, hopefully, we will be having our wonderful analyst desk breaking down the game and prepping us to jump on into the 2nd game of the series. 𝘁𝗍𝗆 take down Team Flash with an emphatic win in Game 1.
Flash is just to summon a spell, and it was on cooldown for a while there, because SGB just stampeded through Game 1. That was a bit of a slacking. Welcome back to the VCS English Analyst Desk with 𝘁𝗋𝑥 Happens and Rebel Fox Happens. We'll start with you. What were your takeaways from Game 1?
I want to start talking about the top lane here, because I initially thought that top lane counterpick was going to be a really big deal in this series, but Team Flash ended up getting the counterpick against Kennen. They knew they were going to be against Kennen, and what surprised me that 𝘁𝗍𝗆 actually left Aurelia up, which is one of Kennen's classic historical counterpicks, and they just went for Malphite instead. And we got to see this affect the early game a lot, because 𝘁𝗏 had control of the lane early game, and he was able to do a 3 or 4 wave crash, TP to the bot side skirmish, and get SGB an early lead off the top lane matchup.
Yeah, it was really surprising. I don't think putting 𝘁𝑚∞ on something like Malphite is the play. He played fine. He even got a solo kill, but I think he needs to be your X factor. He really needs to carry you. It's just not the champ to do it on. Rebel, what were some of your takeaways from the first game?
I think it's like if we were just tracking these two teams as in terms of individual skill, I think it was readily apparent that Saigon's players alone are just better than their counterparts in the majority of situations that we saw. The crazier part was that also the coordination is clearly just unfathomably great for the side of Saigon. From that first just immediate teleport to the bottom side of the map, it seemed like anywhere they wanted to lean on the map, they were able to execute on very, very quickly. And whether it was 𝗃_j who was making plays happen on the Lee Sin, or it was 𝘀𝘀 making things happen on the 𝘁𝘁, it was an incredibly good start to the game for them. They just kept going. Also, really liked Shogun. I had no problems with 𝘁𝘁 last split. I think he was the weakest of the rookies, probably the weakest on the team, despite all of them having great performances. Shogun looked really, really good in that game, number one.
Yeah, 100%. I think 𝘁𝘁 was the weakest, not so much because he was bad, just because the rest of the team was so good. Someone has to be fifth best, which I'm sure we all agree on. I'll go to you first, Happens. How does Buffalo lock this one out? Were there any holes in the Buffalo draft that you spotted?
I didn't particularly think that SGB had any holes in their draft in that game. I thought they drafted very well for what they were up against. I thought that they were going to get counterpicked hard top lane, but that did not end up happening. So we might see that this game, but as of last game, their draft looks pretty good.
Yeah. Rebel, I'm going to ask you a harder question. How does Flash fix their draft in order to have a chance in game 2?
Yoshino needs a carry. That'd be a good way to start. Like just gonna bounce off the previous question because I think it was important to say. The one issue that I took with Saigon's composition is that it was incredibly harder to play comparative to what was being played from the side of Flash, and it didn't matter because Saigon had both the individual and team-wide coordination to just like smash with it no matter what the situation. That felt like a composition that they walked in knowing they were going to win that game, so they drafted that composition one way or another. And so Flash has to come up with some sort of easy response that you could use, because if you know this team's better coordinated and you know that they're better players, you have to find a way to make that you have to take that away from them somehow. Break apart the lanes into individual places, turn this into a solo queue game, I don't care. Make this your typical VCS rumble somehow. And however you plan on doing that is a good question. My go-to always is Nocturne. I think Nocturne's a great champion if you're just trying to make sure that the entire map is taken apart. But that requires getting to level 6, which I don't have a lot of faith in being able to do most of the time very unscathed.
Yeah, it's really rough here, I think, for Flash, because... Yeah, I agree with you. I think if you're the worst team in a matchup, make the game as filthy as possible. Just get down in the mud and have a mud wrestle, because maybe you win. In a game, the messier the game is, the better it is for the underdog. The problem is you're against the Saigon Buffalo, and they're the kings of the mud. They are the pigs in the trough. You can't fight them getting down to that level. That's where they thrive. I'm even struggling to even ask questions because I do think this is so lopsided. Is there any champions either of you can spot that, other than that Nocturne, that might get Flash into it? Anything at all? Yoshino did get a solo kill. Maybe if he gets that Irelia.
Well, if you are going to be running these if you're going to be running those press R Bronzodia comps, as one might say, you might want to consider banning 𝘁𝘁, because 𝘁𝘁 is one of the best champions into those kinds of compositions.
It's true. We are going straight into draft. Buffalo, they ban the Nami out from themselves. They don't want Flash taking away their composition. I think we do need to see Team Flash picking something completely different. I kind of liked the Bronzodia. When you're a pack of bronzies, why not? But yeah, maybe ban 𝘁𝘁, as Twisted Fate will be removed first up. Rebel, with the Nami being banned out, do you think SGB is going to do something drastically different?
It tells me that maybe they don't prioritize what would be Lucian Nami at B1, B2, that type of area. Because if they let it slip through, they've got something else prioritized far more highly. I'm guessing it's a jungle pick for 𝗃𝑗, if they've got the idea behind it. In fact, actually, to be quite honest, it might just be Lee Sin again if we're being completely real here. He was very good at it. And look at that, Saigon's also, they queued into what you were talking about a bit earlier on with the Aphelios being banned out. This is the first time that Nami, or my apologies, not Nami, Yuumi hasn't been banned. Yuumi hasn't been banned.
Yuumi is available to be played. I don't want to see 𝘁𝗍𝗆 pick it, just because I think it's such a waste of his talents. But she's so strong that you kind of have to pick at the kitten.
Let's go.
And there it is. Okay, I guess 𝘁𝗍𝗆, I don't know, he can get some balloons going on his phone or something while he plays. But it looks like Flash are going to answer with the Vex. And it... I'm confused. 𝘁𝗍𝗆 is in, but is 𝘁𝗀𝗆, are they the same person?
They're the same person, yeah.
Okay.
The name card was messed up last time too. I don't know what the deal is.
Okay. They are going to run the Vex back. We need a much better performance, a much better awareness of what the champion can do. And it looks like Jarvan for Dante. I actually like that. Just very point and click engage, very strong go button. I like the Jarvan pickup for Team Flash.
Yeah, we might be able to see something like a Talon here from BeanJ or Lee Sin, because those champions pair really well with Yuumi.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point there. I think, as you were saying, Rebel, I think Talon is a flex for SGB, one of the only teams in the world where that might be true, as it will be the misfortune. The bot lane is rounded out. I assume we see a jungle pick here to avoid any bans coming in. 𝘁𝗏𝗆, of course, has the champion Rainforest. No, it's going to be the top laner. 𝘁𝑚ed will be running back the Kennen. This is already a bit of a wombo combo.
Yeah, they're taking away some of this type, these champions that would fit into what would be this 𝘁𝗀𝗆 composition we've been referring to, where it's like, okay, now you've got Jarvan, Vex can be thrown into this. You'd rather an Orianna or something, but if that kind of comfort is there for 𝘁𝗆 on the champion, you got to take it. But then and Misfortune would be on top of that as well. You throw it into the Cataclysm, it's an insta win. Same with the Slicing Maelstrom. You drop either of those two on top of the AoE, that's going to win you a team fight pretty much outright. But here, both those tools taken away, Saigon apparently willing to take those away. I also love Misfortune with Yuumi. That is like the perfect pairing, because when Misfortune gets to use that passive movement speed to run around the map, that means Yuumi gets to access so much more and just be this menace that the cat can absolutely be in the earlier stage of the game.
What are you thinking so far of the comps that we're seeing happens?
I think so far that Flash is going for a pretty similar composition where they're trying to get good engages with Jarvan and Vex, kind of like last game where they're trying to get good engages with Malphite and Vex. But I think SGB in this game have even better tools to kind of deal with that, because Yuumi is one of the best champions into these kinds of comps because she can disengage so easily with her R.
Yeah, it's very true. As a Lucian pickup, 𝘁𝗏𝗆 going to the Enchanter. We have an Enchanter versus Enchanter bot lane with that Lulu pick. Lulu Jhin. I mean, Jhin is not really the AD carry you normally want to pair with something like Lulu. You'd much rather something like the Aphelios, as Irelia is going to be the lock-in, presumably for 𝘁𝗏𝗆, though there is some flex potential there. That is a bit of a gauntlet being thrown down. Vex, the anti-mobility mage, up against Irelia.
Yeah, if that's not a pure statement out of 𝘁𝗏𝗆 saying he does not care about 𝘁𝗆's champion pool, I'm not sure exactly what is. And with the selection, I really like Trundle into Jarvan. It's one of the matchups that I think Jarvan actually has some struggle into. But if this is going to be the pick for Yoshino, this is so much more akin to what we actually wanted it to be in the previous game. No Malphite nonsense. We get a champion who can actually carry a team fight. It can work on its own in a side lane. The Gwen is exactly what we were trying to set up for Yoshino previously.
Yeah.
I realized. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. In my opinion, this must be like a comfort pick for Yoshino if he's willing to pick it into this matchup, because generally Kennen does pretty well into Gwen. So Yoshino must be pretty confident in his Gwen if he's going to pick it here.
Yeah, I was basically going to say the exact same thing, so I really should have just let you. This is the one thing to note. First time Gwen will be played in the VCS. Of course, she was not around in spring, and we didn't have a summer. So this will be the first time that we will see how immune Gwen can be. Of course, it is a good pick into Misfortune for the very same reason. With dodging out on that bullet time. One thing I am a little bit worried about is a lack of consistent damage here for Flash. We'll have to see how they overcome it. And I want to get this really quick. Rebel, who is winning game 1? Game 2, I should say.
Saigon.
Happens, who is winning game 2?
Saigon.
And we will immediately go over to our lovely casting duo of 𝘁cie and 𝘁𝗶𝗹𝘀𝘀.
I'm going to be honest with you here, 𝘁𝗶𝗶. When I heard the analysts saying who they thought they were going to win, they sounded a bit depressed. It was like, oh, Saigon are going to win.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I would personally feel generally just on composition. I would actually think Flash would be in with a pretty good shot. Unfortunately, we did just watch game 1. And Buffalo did look quite a lot, quite decently, just a smidgen above Flash in the standings, actually. So we're going to have to see how Flash bounces back. Can they improve on their performance? Can they get things rolling with Dante on this J4? A little bit easier to make those plays happen. But 𝘁𝗀𝗀 already walking to the top side, maybe looking for a little bit of a cheesy interruption onto Yoshino. But until that point, we're just sort of looking across and saying, Flash is going to have some issues. Flash is going to have a lot of their lanes are not really going to have a lot of push on the other side. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 will, again, probably be able to push in 𝘁𝗀𝗀. Yes, we'll be able to push.
Last game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the nature of a mage versus a melee matchup, but I don't think it's going to cause a lot of problems. I don't think that's going to do a lot, because 𝘁𝗀𝗀, as we showed, did not roam on the Vex at all, did not utilize that push to any real advantage, and it's just going to sort of probably all crumble down as the side lanes from SGB have the advantage, could get the push advantage. Though if Lulu does keep attacking the wave, that is how SGB makes up for the lack of push Jhin has, but sort of supplementing it through the Lulu, compared to a Yuumi who does not push.
And you can have this entire trade between the support health bars go low, and then Yuumi just attaches, and then technically it looks like everything's nice and healthy for the Saigon Buffalo bot lane. I also got some clarification from Rebel Fox. He says he is looking forward exceptionally to watch 𝘁cie𝗱𝘆 on 𝘁𝗀𝗀 once again. So we'll see whether that does come through, or whether 𝘁𝗀𝗀, or 𝘁𝗶𝗵 as some people might know him, will be able to get redemption for his Vex performance in game 1.
Yeah, definitely hoping to see him do a bit better, but level 2 reached on 𝘁𝗀𝗀 in position, looking for that stun that's going to just come through easily.
Oh, the
easy
flawless
pick
duet.
up.
Flawless duet is absolutely flawless, and Saigon Buffalo just seemed to have 𝘁𝗀𝗀's number, just knowing he's going to overstep, we can go on him, and now Dante looking to collapse onto
Just right back into it.
Yeah, teleport coming through from 𝘁𝗀𝗀. Can he get the fear flashed away by 𝘁𝗀𝗀? And does Dante want more? I think for a second he did.
Yeah, just absolute. He comes in, teleports back to lane anyway, gets the flash out, which it's not much, but you're taking what you can get. But Dante is not stopping. He's making his way down. Probably gonna get spotted out, so it would be risky. SGB should feel comfortable because 𝘁𝗀𝗀 is close. There is also teleports on 𝘁𝗀𝗀 and 𝘁𝗏𝗏.
Is he close enough? It's a good flash from Shogun, just about staying alive for the ignite. It was ticking, but not ticking quite quickly enough. 𝘁𝗏𝗏 now getting the CC. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 making his way over the pillar. Going to be able to find the CC. Flag and drag takes Dante out to safety. And the side of Team Flash will be able to escape unharmed.
This is overall a sort of good outcome for Flash. They fall a little bit behind on Dante, but Yoshino should be able to make up a decent amount of CS on top lane, getting that wave to crash. And he's going to get a free reset, whereas 𝘁𝗏𝗏, he's blind to teleport, so we're going to be looking for Yoshino to make something happen, as they actually go for the lane swap and send 𝘁𝗀𝗀 into the top side, as 𝘁𝗀𝗀 and 𝘁𝗀𝗀
𝘁𝗨's got no mana. 𝘁𝗀, oh dearie me, this is going badly. 𝘁𝗀 ends up taking the kill, and now Dante is in the jaws of the beast, and we've already got our roaming duo. I thought it'd be coming a little bit later, but no, just to leave Shogun level 3 on Misfortune just to solo in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and 𝘁𝗀 is just pushing with abandon. He's just going for it. There are no wards around him in the mid lane. He's just easy pickings without a flash, without a fear, without mana. My god, this man is just falling apart. He's just this big weakness at the moment, just getting picked on over and over. That's a lot of damage. They're 1,000 gold up, and most of it, pretty much, let's be honest, all of it is this mid lane gap. Look at the 20 CS lead. Well, it's closer to 10 now as Froggy.
This is Froggy. Froggy
one,
usually doesn't have a CS lead. He's usually down by like 50 million CS.
Yeah, he's usually down by a decent amount. He's not known for his CSing ability, but
I actually have the stat. It's 8.4 CS down at 15.
Is that career-wide or
that is Spring Split. Wait.
Oh.
Yes, Spring Split wide.
Okay. Yeah, so still, despite improving a lot from last year, still not a CSer. And he's just, I mean, yes, 𝘁𝗀 has been killed twice, but yeah, he's just getting wrecked in this top lane. In this mid lane, sorry.
Well, so far, so good for 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆𝘆, and now Team 𝘁аше getting a little bit aggressive, thinking, we can fight on 𝘁𝗀. Sadly, 𝘁𝗀 missing the Shadow Surge and can't collapse on the play. It could have ended up quite well if the Shadow Surge did connect.
That should have been a really easy kill. I don't know where that was going, but it just completely misses. And with that, it's just Dante's having really good aggression, and he's pushing into 𝘁𝗀's jungle, trying to punish this Trundle wherever he can. But yeah, there's no follow-up to help him out, so he's just sort of getting these small trades down and then having to back off. And overall, this does still work out fine for 𝘁𝗀 because he will heal up off his passive, whereas Dante will have to sort of just mess around in the jungle, heal up off Smite for sure, and SGB just taking it to Flash in the bot lane, huge trade onto Jetsu, and Shogun's still on full health, so really happy, and engage on the top.
Engage on the top side, Flag and Drag comes through. 𝘂𝗈 trying to outplay this and will be able to run out to safety. Now, maybe at the beginning of the day, I wrote up some notes. We both got the document, and one of the things that I had written down, I thought Dante would go for the play, but one of the things I wanted to talk about was looking back to Spring Split for Team 𝘁аше. 𝘂𝗆, the mid laner, was one of their weaknesses, and I thought, okay, 𝘁𝗀 coming in, he's a rookie. Is he going to be better? Is he going to be worse? In fact, the analyst talked a little bit about it before game 1, and I think so far the answer to that is it's not been a good showing so far, and Team 𝘁аше are again having this weakness in the mid lane.
Yeah, to be completely fair to him, it's one series, it's one champion, maybe he's just a god-awful Vex. But so far, yeah, it's looking pretty bad, because while 𝘁𝗁 didn't have a lot of impact, he didn't have negative impact either, as it seems to be. But overall, yeah, we're just seeing 𝘁аше trying to make things happen. They're like trying to make things happen at the top lane. Dante is making moves around the map, but 𝘁𝗀 is just sort of standing directly in the middle of the mid lane and just with no sort of awareness on either side, getting ganked over and over. And this is just sort of, it means that SGB are just sort of getting free advantages for no problems. And they can just take it slow, go even in the side lanes. They're even winning in the bot lane in terms of trading, and then just sort of scale up and just wait until they have a pretty comfortable lead come these objectives, which should be appearing any minute now. I don't actually know what the timer was.
We're in pause. I'm just looking at all of the memes that are getting put down in our production chat, which I shan't be bringing up on stream. But we can talk about other stuff, like our backgrounds. We set this up beforehand. It's good. 𝘁𝗆, what great knowledge are you imparting on us viewers?
I think the knowledge is that SGB are pretty good. They can more or less just they're definitely better than Flash, but they have a lot of flexibility, as we've seen in the draft. They're more than happy to run these enchanters. They've adapted very well to the meta. Loving the cannon priority from them compared to some of the other teams. Like, cannon is just so strong, and I'm really glad that SGB is just sort of grabbing it and going, no, we want this as soon as possible every time. We don't care. Cannon doesn't have a bad matchup. If he loses in lane, he's always relevant in a team fight. Even through an exhaust, he's just that strong.
Even if he gets solo killed by a Malphite.
Even if he gets solo killed by a Malphite, he's just a super strong champion. And it was kind of a low priority pick at Worlds compared to some other top laners. Like, Jace was right up there, but we're seeing Cannon just being picked really high priority by Husmet, and I'm really happy for it because this rat is OP and he's getting the recognition he deserves.
And 𝘁𝗀𝗺, I don't know why the Jarvan flag and dragged away from 𝘁𝗀𝗺 instead of on top of...
I think
I
didn't
don't know.
realize 𝘁𝗀𝗺 was there and until he threw the flag and was like, well, I'm committed to chickens. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I really want right now.
𝘁𝗀𝗺. To be honest, I don't blame him.
Yeah, can't say I blame it. There's a reason why that's sort of something only to the French. But Dante's
He's trying
overstepped.
Mission Impossible, but I don't think he's going to be getting out of this one. He's been smited, he's been slowed. Where are you going to go, Dante? He's cataclysm, he's flashing with a flash forward from BJ on the chase. Dante, it was a good effort, but sadly, you're dead, son.
It's about all he could do, but unfortunately, yeah, wasn't able to get this extra flag and drag out. Just went a little too deep, hunting for a bit of CS and just rounded up and cut down. It's quite a shame. It's just quite a shame because this was the big pressure point from Flash. Dante's aggression in the jungle, and with him being snuffed out like so, it's just easy picking. It's just easy pressure for SGB, who are going to pretty much pick up a free tower. They might not commit entirely because they definitely just want to knock down as many plates as they can before they drop the Herald. And with the collapse coming back from Flash, they're gonna just back away. Back away for now, at least. But yeah, that they should. Yeah, they know you're there. The area spotted you, mate. And now, since he's backed off, teleports aren't up for about 2 seconds, so they have to move quick.
And Dante doesn't have the ult either, remember. He used it in his attempt to escape, and 𝘁𝗀𝗆 actually wants to fight Dante for a second. In the end, decides, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do that. I should wait for BJ to show up. Now I'll fight. Make it rain gets the slow flag and drag out from Dante. I don't know why I got so hyped about that. I completely forgot how Jarvan worked.
Yeah, but it is another plate over to 𝘁𝗀𝗃, so slowly getting a small lead up on this bot side. However, the Jhin, it's only going to be so impactful as the game progresses, unless he gets a really strong lead like Celebrity was doing in the first series. But as it is, it's just going to be... They're just sort of focusing on getting him ahead, and this could be amount to something, but here's a teleport.
There is a teleport, and I think 𝘁𝗀𝗃 is dead. Deader than dead. As... Oh no, he's going to drop the curtain call. He might do this. Go on. Oh my god, he sniped him! Oh, 𝘁𝗀𝗃! Oh, you could have blocked the final shot. You know what? GG, Team Flash, you can take the win. 𝘁𝗱𝗆𝘆𝘀 should FF after that one.
Scumbag 𝘁𝗃𝗃 letting down his 𝘁𝗃𝗃 carry. He wants a righty
slow-mo
back.
replay of that.
He wants a righty back. He's like, I don't like this new kid. I don't like this new kid. I want my old guy back. But just gets the ball around. Got a kill he absolutely should not, but in the end just...
Oh, okay. Team Flash.
Wipe.
Yoshino's coming in. What can he do? 𝘁𝗍𝗆𝘆𝘀's going to lock him down. Pallet now joining into the fray. Yoshino has more needlework. Has him down to a few HP. Yoshino surely gets this kill. BJ on the run. Yoshino, the throw from the glitter lance. Pallet, the real MVP of that play.
Yeah, Gwen able to get things done eventually. What did not immune the Maelstrom, so wasn't able to get that double kill they were hunting for. And let's see here. It looks pretty good, but the exhaust coming down onto 𝘁𝗀𝗃, the teleport in, it just signals this is over. Dante's getting 1v1 by BJ. And look at this. Just 𝘁𝗃𝗃, he just does his AD carry dirty. But That's fine. He's a bloodthirsty support. He wants it. And then jumps in. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 has overcommitted and does not have the damage to make those resets happen. So just feeds another one away. And it's still a huge win for SGB, even with the following teleport from Yoshino. Because in the end, it's a 2-for-2. But there is the tower going down on top of that.
There was only one winner in that trade as 𝘁𝗀𝗃 dies. But the only winner from that trade in the bottom lane was support fans, support laners all over the world watching 𝘁𝗃 get one up on Shogun. I know that made me very happy. I'll be sending that to every single ADC that I know on Twitter, and I encourage any other fellow supports out there to do the same.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's every support stream to just dog their AD carry like that.
There's this video on YouTube of a 𝘁𝗺 and an 𝘂𝑺rael, and they're like trying to battle to slide to a Caitlyn ult, and it's like arcane shift, and then 𝘁𝗺 W's behind, and it's like a flash and a flash.
And then 𝘁𝗺 just stopwatches in the end. It's great. It's beautiful. It's just peak League of Legends is those sort of clips.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about that League of Legends. We're here to talk about this League of Legends. And currently, we are seeing a 3,000 gold lead for SGB at around 14 minutes. This is big. They're coming up towards the second Rift Herald soon. So that's going to probably be a further advantage for SGB as the plates do fall. No more gold coming out of them. But with this, if they can grab this Herald, this should help them gain that extra pressure in the side lanes that they really want. Gain them a bit more pressure in the mid lane to break open the map and really take control. It's been 𝘁𝗀𝗃 and 𝘁𝗃, the real rookie duo of this team, just happily holding hands and sauntering through Flash's jungle, giving Dante a wave. As it's going to be a trade.
I'm just going to say I'm going to do a little bit of promotion, because if people are enjoying this game, make sure to tune in on Friday, because 𝘁𝗱𝗆 take on 𝘁𝗀𝘺 the Sky and 𝘀𝗀𝗆 take on 𝘀cie 𝗰𝗆, and they're probably going to be even more one-sided than these two games.
Oh,
it's heard it here first.
That's going to be a hard call, but especially after game one being what it was. But here we're going to have to see what Flash try and do. They currently try to cross map a little bit, but it's just going to be faster on the side of SGB with this Rift Herald. They're gonna get two turrets for one essentially, and getting an inner turret is really, really valuable onto 𝘁𝑺. Already has his Gore Drinker completed, has his boots as well on the way to being that backline threat. And compare across to his opposite number, 50 CS down 3 kills. Vex is just not going to have the impact she really needs to make the team fights come together for Team Flash. It's all on the back of Yoshino, really. 𝘁𝗀𝗃,
well, there's only so much that a poor Gwen can carry, really. I'm not going to say never. Never say never in the VCS, because strange things happen here. I don't have this confirmed, but I don't believe 𝘁𝗃 has actually landed a Vex ult this game. I think he's fired out 3 and missed all 3.
He did land 1. It took him right into the maw of 3 SGB members, all way too high to execute, but he did land an ult. So baby steps. But maybe they can catch out BJ, but no, what am I talking about? Cloud Rift plus Yuumi. He's just gonna waddle it. He's just gonna troll his way out. And Flash are just running around looking for anything they can get their hands on, but nothing is presenting itself. As, yeah.
Is that
Carrot shouting at the cat? Yeah, he's making more noise than the cat,
is telling 𝘁𝗃𝗃 off. He's like, you don't play the kitten, bad kitten.
Yeah, I mean, fair. Less Yuumi, I'm always here for less Yuumi, but she is strong at the moment. She has been picked up, and she has proved quite invaluable towards Team Flash's, Team SGB's success, as the Buffalo take full control of the Spotside River, gonna pick up this dragon. thankfully for Team Flash, they did grab that ocean earlier, so it's not going to be soul point just yet. And, I mean, because 30%, but it does open up the potential for 30% CDR on the cannon. We do not want that. That's just a lot of cannon ults, and that will just win you fights over and over again. Especially if he's able to pull off ones like he was last game.
Well, that's another Drake going over to the side of 𝘁𝗱𝗆𝘆𝘀. And to be honest right now, I think for 𝘁𝗱𝗆𝗆𝘆 is a case of when, not if. And they're trying to decide, okay, how do they want to do it? How much pain do they want to inflict upon Team Flash? Do they want to get more kills? Do they want to try to get a pentakill? Who knows? The sky is their limit right now.
Yeah, and it's really telling that it's actually only 18 minutes. It feels like, why are SGB just sort of taking so long to get anything done? Because there's not a Baron on the map to sort of play around to draw the enemy team in. They're just waiting for something to appear, something to play around. Because Flash, to the credit, they're not just trying to fight over nothing, much like we saw in the first series where Secret and SBTC were just banging heads over and over again. Flash are taking it a lot more slowly, trying to pick their moments. They're just picking poorly. Usually.
I want to counter that because I don't think Flash are in the driving seat. I don't think they can really decide. I mean, I might be wrong with that.
I mean, they're trying. Dante's been playing. He's tempered his aggression a little bit now, but he was playing aggressive. They did try and make that play happen in the bot side with 𝘂cie𝗱𝗆, and they got something out of it. But it's just. But yes, overall, it is SGB driving the map. They have the tempo. 𝘂cie𝗱𝗆 and the rest of Flash are just trying to sort of just trying to find little gaps in their play, little mistakes so that they can drop their counter, drop something that swings the game back, find a favorable trade that brings the gold closer to even. But SGB, they're playing very safe. There's nothing to really risk for. So it's just bouncing back, trading farm, and waiting for the game to actually hit 20 minutes, which soon.
I mean, if 𝘂cie𝗱𝗆 can get strong enough, maybe something can happen. Do you think this game is going to end with Shogun or 𝘁𝗀𝗆 having more kills? Because currently 𝘁𝗀𝗆 is 2-0 up on his ADC.
Look, I'm on Team 𝘁𝗀𝗆 because Shogun got enough kills last game. He got a comfortable 8. Pretty good showing. 𝘁𝗀𝗆, look, he has to get something. He has to get some enjoyment out of.
I think he should get a dark kill, to be honest.
Might as well. I mean, as the rate he's going to be picking up more gold than he knows what to do with. He's going to finish 2 items and go, I still have money, what do? This is a new territory for a professional support.
He's so far ahead in gold that he bought an Oblivion Orb, which he really doesn't need, I feel.
I mean, he doesn't need it, but 𝘀𝗆𝗆𝗆 is just really good value, especially when you're up against like a Lulu and a Gwen, especially there's incidental healing, Gore Drinker as well. It's almost always worth grabbing the 𝘀𝗆𝗆𝗆 on the patch. Dante still has flag and drag, but
Dante, he's running, he's trying to get away, but he's been locked down. There's a teleport coming in from the side of your screen, potentially the turnaround for Team Flash. 𝘁𝗆𝗆𝗆 getting aggressive.
Jetsu's completely zoned out.
Oh no, 𝘁𝗁𝗆𝗆, this is going to be dirty.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it was a dirty miss of the ult. And 𝘁𝗁𝗆𝗆 does again, he's stuck in the middle of 4 members from Team Flash. Now he can look to 𝘁𝗆𝗆𝗆, but says, you know what, I feel bad for 𝘁𝗆𝗆𝗆, I'm going to let him go. Curtains are opened by a Jetsu, and he'll miss the final shot on to B&J. Won't be able to get any kills this time round. 𝘂𝗀𝗍 looking towards Hasmed, and he'll drop it down the "you can't touch me" circle and waltz his way out.
Yeah, it's in Vietnamese, but I assure you that does say Gwen is immune. So the circle is working as intended, as 𝘂𝗀𝗍, as all that happens and nothing happens. However, Flash, they do get the inside track onto mid lane. They are going to be rewarded with the tower, but here comes the collapse. 𝘁𝗆𝗆𝗆 caught out.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗍𝘆 on the run, and well, he's not really got many places to run to. The make it rain. 𝘁𝗲𝘆, well, 𝘂𝑚 taken down. 𝘁𝗲𝘆 picks up the kill. 𝘁𝗱𝗄𝗆, turning things around. There's a tower. Do they care about the tower? Yes. As who is on the flank? Never mind, that's just 𝘁𝗆𝘆 running out to safety. Was actually able to get out of that one.
Yeah, use the ult on itself. In the end, it's 𝘂𝑚 that goes down, and it could be another pick onto Dante. That's going to be the tower cleaned up as well, and should be an easy setup for this dragon. 𝘁𝗏𝑚 stealing away a blue buff just to rub salt into the wound.
Honestly, it's 6k between the two sides. It feels like it should be a lot more, to be honest, but 𝘁𝗱𝗄𝗆 looking to pick up a 2-0. And as I said before, all of the casters, because we're all geniuses, we predicted this 2-0 without fail. I think 𝘁𝑐𝗱 didn't give a prediction. I think he probably would have memed and actually would have gone with Team 𝘁𝗏. But here's a quick replay of what happened in the mid lane.
𝘁𝗏𝗆 just opening up, getting a strong engage. Not quite able to find the lockdown onto 𝘁𝗄, but does force the flash. And that's a really strong setup. You've removed the jungler from the game, and so you have really a strong ability to set up the wards, but it's just that little bit of an overreach in the defense. A good catch out by 𝘁𝗏𝗆 onto Dante that they immediately collapse on. That means they get another kill, get the tower, and get the dragon. Instead of just they were likely guaranteed to get the dragon, they just get so much more than they were supposed to get, and it's a 6k gold lead now. They are on soul point. They are really far. They have such a commanding lead, and now for the next few minutes, we're probably just going to see them posture around the Baron, try and take it away, try and force Flash into a fight they do not want.
And I need to issue a formal apology to 𝘁𝑐𝗱. He did predict a 2-0 for 𝘁𝗱𝗄𝘆, so I apologize, 𝘁𝑐𝗱. I do not know why I thought you said Team 𝘁𝗏 would win. But there you go. So everyone actually predicting a 𝘁𝗱𝗄𝗆 win. You know what they say, unity, right? Strength in numbers.
Yeah, unity. I got nothing for that one. But
I don't know where I'm
𝘂𝗏𝗆,
going either, right? We're casting a game that's 25 minutes in, is completely one-sided, and I think we're just trying to have a good laugh now.
Yeah, I mean, look, 𝘂𝑚 is having a solid time in the side lane. He's generally has the pressure down onto 𝘂𝑚, able to shove into turret, but on the other side of the map, SGB, yeah, they just start up Baron. There's Flash has to respond, and there's not really much lost on the side of 𝘁𝗆𝗆. They just have a little damage check, force a response from Flash, and don't let them do anything.
Dante, you've been hit by, a smooth Shogun. Anyway, Shogun gets the kill. 𝘁𝗱𝗄𝗆𝗆 gonna look towards the Baron.
Yeah, there's no jungler on the map. There's very little options for Flash. I mean, they could try and contest in terms of just try and fight them off, but they don't have great engage. They don't even have that much in the way of poke beyond what 𝘁𝗄 can offer, and 𝘁𝗏𝑚 lurking on the side. He's looking for that angle. He can get a really good one. 𝘁𝗄 self-rooted.
The curtains have been opened. Is this the moment for Team 𝘁𝗏? The Shadow Surge comes in. Will it be the kill? They take down Shogun, but can they get more? BeanJake going to golden down to a few HP, and Team 𝘁𝗏 will pick up a few kills. 𝘁𝗏 will get another. Now they look towards the 𝘁𝗏𝗆. 𝘁𝗏𝗆, what can you do? Uninhibit the ribbit because 𝘁𝗏𝗆 is popping off. He looks towards Yoshino, and for a second I thought he was going to fall, but never mind. It's a triple kill going over to 𝘁𝗏𝗆. That being said, not bad from Team 𝘁𝗏.
Yeah, it's a much better fight. It stops the Baron, and it looks like they were about to run away with it, but Yuumi plus 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗃𝗀 is too strong. 𝘁𝗏𝗆, look at him. He's basically on full health again already. And that is almost quite devastating for 𝘁𝗏. They started off quite well. DHQ actually able to pretty much delete Shogun entirely straight away. Look at this. Lands the ult, immediately pops in, dies instantly.
He can't even land a single ult.
Yeah, and then, well, he landed that one, and it just pops, and you just see Yoshino popping off on the back, but look at this healing coming out from 𝘁𝗏𝗆. That 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗃 puts him from like a third health back to almost full, and is able to just run down Yoshino. And we're just seeing a bit of a wallet diff, I think, coming in, as that was just about as good a team fight as Flash is going to get, and they still end up losing. And it's just going to be, well, rinse and repeat for Buffalo.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗀 dead, and this time, 𝘁𝗱𝗆, well, last time we tried to take the Baron when the jungler was down, now we'll try to do it when the ADC is down, maybe it'll work out better for us. I believe in the 𝘁𝗀∗ I don't know about you.
I believe in the Yoshino getting collapsed on.
Died, yeah. I can see Yoshino dying. To be fair, he's doing a fair amount of work, running for the hill, so 𝘁𝗁 here to give a little shield. Yoshino, how greedy do you want to be? Very greedy, I think. 𝘁𝗀's just so much damage denied with a Defiant Dance. And the Prowling Projectile won't quite connect, but 𝘁𝗀 now on the hunt. But that's throwing out some big little answers to get the slows and stop 𝘁𝗱𝗆 from going in, but that's the flag and drag. And there's a teleport coming in from Asmund, but by the time he gets here, everyone's going to be dead. I think you should just slice his bells from just for the hell of it. Never mind, it's on cooldown. 𝘁𝗱𝗆 will take the Cloud Soul.
Yeah, it looks like a big re-engage from Dante. Maybe they could sort of clean up the back end, but no, the healing is just too much. There's no way to cut through the Irelia. And it was good pick onto 𝘁𝗀, just catching him completely out of position. That set up the fight, but 𝘁𝗀 has actually found his keyboard. He's been able to pop Shogun twice now, and this has really hampered Buffalo's ability to do what they want. Now, they do end up winning the fight on the back end and thus claiming the Cloud Soul. But see here, they just collapse onto Yoshino. Yoshino stays alive for so long thanks to that circle, and 𝘁𝗁 being out of it, not being able to lock him down. So it's a trade overall for 1-for-1, and then you see here, they're sort of going for that, trying to engage onto the 3 before 𝘁𝗁's able to rejoin. And then, but 𝘁𝗀gy, look at the damage that just comes out from him. He ends up just healing more than the damage he takes. It's quite disgusting. And you top it off with a Cloud Soul. So it's going to just be even harder to fight Buffalo. They're going to win. They're going to win. They're going to win a fight, and then they're going to have their cooldowns back before you do to win the next one.
Well, Cloud Soul secured for 𝘁𝗱𝗆. 11 kills up. 8k gold ahead, and they want more, and rightfully so, because they want to be picking up their second win of the day. Doesn't look like Flash, or Team Flash I should say, will be getting a third game. The damage is just disgusting, and that was just a Prowling Projectile, I think, that connected onto 𝘁𝗀.
Yeah,
Okay,
and that,
Shadow's Burst, this is the fight. The cannon just getting out of range, but 𝘁𝗀 is going to fall as soon as he comes out of their stasis. The bullet time being dropped down. Cataclysm going to lock down a few members of 𝘁𝗱𝗆 under tower, but look at the shield from the Sterak's. It's disgusting. 𝘁𝗀 will fall as well, and 𝘁𝗁 is the only member left standing. 𝘁𝗱𝗆 will just rinse through the mid lane towers, rinse through the mid lane inhibitor as well, and 𝘁𝗁 can just watch his entire base burn in front of his eyes. 𝘁𝗱𝗆 absolutely dominate Team Flash and take a very clean 2-0 win.
Flash put up a bit of a better fight in game 2, but in the end, SGB just come out swinging and just smash both games pretty convincingly. They were a little bit slower in the second one, but that felt more like they got so far ahead they just didn't have it too early, that they didn't have anything else to do on the map except wait. So extremely convincing for SGB, and that's with Shogun, who was not expected to be the starter. So maybe we might see Ariadne again next week, or later this week rather. But
yeah,
Buffalo looking on fire.
They are looking on fire, and it's looking a little bit on fire, a little bit hot where our host is. 𝘁𝗁, do you want to take us away?
Well, I am actually coming to you live from the Flash gaming room. It is an absolute dumpster fire in there. That was a...
An actual dumpster fire. You just took our play-by-play in Desk Coast. Who would have possibly thought that that's how that was going to happen? Astonishing.
I think my Discord just crashed.
Gentlemen.
Hello? Am I audible? Hi?
Yeah, you're here.
Sorry about that, everyone. But yeah, we are in the dumpster fire, but my name is Karis. With me is Happens and Rebel Fox. Happens, do you have any positive takeaways for Flash?
Well, first, I would like to say that this is just the first series of the year, and things can get better. Like, obviously, 𝘁𝗀 and 𝘁𝗀 are extremely new players, and part of being rookie is the inexperience that comes with that. So they can improve, even though today's showing was really poor from them. I thought that Yoshino was able to garner a big lead top, which is a good sign for them because he's clearly their best player. And I thought that Dante's early pathing wasn't too bad. He was able to burn BNJ's flash, and he was also able to get he was also able to burn 𝘁𝗻𝗄's TP bot lane with a early bot dive, or a threatened bot dive at least, and that was able to propel Yoshino ahead due to that.
Yeah, and Rebel, I'm sure there's quite a long list, but what are some of your takeaways for the Buffalo?
They're looking cleaner than what I almost would have thought that they were coming into this split. It was hard to match exactly how incredible that their split run was, but it doesn't look like they've regressed at all. It seems like they are still firing on all cylinders. I will say there were very brief moments of like, okay, this play probably could have been cleaned up a little bit, but their game planning is still on point. 𝘁𝗏𝘁cie seems to have taken even potentially another step forward. Now, again, that's kind of contingent on his competition maybe not being the best today, but appears to be completely on form, being my favorite player throughout the entirety of the series. And obviously 𝘁𝗁 brings out two different champions over the course of this series and was able to perform on both of them. So they checked off all the boxes I needed to see for them to be a predicted top two, easily one of my top two teams here in the split.
Now, I don't want to extend this desk too much. We are running into some potential tech issues, and it is, of course, very late at night for different people here. So I want to get your closing statements, your impression on both of these teams and how this series played out. We'll start with you, Happens.
I'd say that if you're an SGB fan, you're very happy with this series because they showed a lot of adaptation to the meta that the other teams that we saw, like Team Secret, didn't. Like we were seeing Team Secret pick things like 𝘁𝘁, but with SGB, we saw them pick things like Yuumi, Lee Sin, and Trundle, which is a very good sign for SGB, in my opinion, that they can adapt to the meta like that, even though they're all rookies and such. As for Team Flash, they're up against a hard opponent today, but it's not looking too good for them.
Yeah. Rebel, what are your takeaways for both teams?
I firmly believe today's series were exciting, mostly because it is the first time we've seen VCS for a very long time. Specifically, that second series, I'm very excited to see where Saigon gets to go, because we're going to have the opportunity to get to see these guys basically through winter, directly through spring, and right to MSI potentially, where Riot has said that they want to make sure people end up. And so we get such an extended period of time where we get to see all these players kind of develop and see our top team end up getting to go. I'm hoping that, again, teams like Saigon kind of inspire more of this rookie talent generation pipeline, and that people can follow their footsteps. And one of the first teams that's going to get a chance to do that is Flash. And hopefully they don't end up like, I guess, 𝘁𝗎𝘁 from last split.
Well, with that, we will be heading off for the night. It's so good to be back on VCS. It has been way too long, and I hope everybody watching did enjoy the show. I want to thank our casters, 𝘀𝗀𝗆 and 𝘁𝗁𝗵, a brand new duo coming in, and I think they did a great job. I also want to give special thanks to you, Happens. You filled in at the absolute last minute when we did have an emergency issue, and you came in and did a fantastic job. Rebel, I mean, you're just one of the regulars, but still, thank you. Thank you to 𝘀𝗀𝗆 for doing production, and thank you to everyone out there for watching. This is VCS English saying goodnight. We'll see you tomorrow.